Yesterday, at 7:34 a.m. local time, the largest earthquake to originate within Colombia in 47 years struck. A major earthquake, this measured in as a magnitude 7.4, causing the ground to rapidly shake back and forth over a vast area. Shaking started at a moderate intensity, causing some minor plaster to fall off of buildings, but then the more damaging S-waves and surface waves arrived, causing shaking and damage to intensify. The exterior of dozens of structures then collapsed, chimneys fell over, parts of roof tiles fell off, and in some instances, specific buildings completely collapsed, some to their side. Shaking reportedly lasted for more than a minute in some spots, and damage was extensive, especially in the major city of Pereira. Now, while this damage is not nearly as extensive or severe as observed in Venezuela's twin major earthquakes in June, the latest event is still a major disaster. The U.S. Geological Survey model suggests it is most likely that between 100 and 1,000 fatalities occurred, and that between 100 million and $1 billion in damage occurred. This earthquake originated near, but not at the tectonic plate boundary, which is ongoing offshore of the country. There, the Nazca Plate is subducting underneath the North Andes Plate. While some major regional earthquakes have occurred at the point where those two plate boundaries touch, which marks where megathrust earthquakes can occur, yesterday's earthquake occurred notably deeper, within the upper mantle and not in the crust. It did not occur at the megathrust zone, but instead represented what is known as an intraslab earthquake, completely occurring within a subducting Nazca plate slab. This slab is undergoing non-uniform motion, with parts of it moving in slightly different directions, meaning that stress builds up on faults within the subducting slab that want to push it further southwards. At the same time as it is getting pulled deeper into the mantle, the slab bends, causing compressional stress to build up, which can be eventually accommodated by the motion of a reverse fault. The August 10, 2026 earthquake had both horizontal and vertical motion components to it, being an oblique earthquake on a left lateral reverse fault. Intraslab earthquakes are not all that uncommon, but due to their depth, generally cause less damage than the same magnitude earthquake hypothetically would have caused at shallower depths. However, Colombia has only experienced one other magnitude 7 range intraslab earthquake in the last 50 years, specifically a magnitude 7.3 quake in 2012, which struck at 54% deeper depths than yesterday's larger magnitude earthquake. As a friendly reminder, no one can predict earthquakes. Us scientists can only give broad generalizations of data regarding aftershocks by looking at data from similar geologic settings. With that in mind, these broad generalizations suggest the chance of aftershocks of varying magnitudes within the next day, week, month, and year. However, I want to add on that I have noted many intraslab earthquakes seemingly have a lower rate of aftershocks than those from shallower crustal faults. Now, in the prior simulation I showed of Colombia earthquake damage, I displayed MMI 7.0 damage. That is consistent with essentially the maximum the U.S. Geological Survey model suggests. However, in this checklist I have made showing various MMI intensities per their definition, we can see that most aspects of MMI 7.0 shaking and even some of MMI 8.0 shaking were reached. So, in my opinion, maximum ground shaking may have reached around MMI 7.5 to MMI 7.7 in some select spots, which if correct would explain the number of collapses which did occur, with shaking being possibly amplified in some spots by volcano-sedimentary or sedimentary rock units such as sand for the latter. Liquefaction was modeled as having a high likelihood of having occurred in multiple areas, and some landslides were also triggered by this magnitude 7.4 earthquake, which by the way was the fourth largest earthquake to have struck the world so far in 2026. I am hoping that the number of casualties from this earthquake remains on the lower end of modeled values.